Hey, this is Winston Zeddemore, CEO of Zeddemore Industries and member of the original Ghostbuster team. You're listening to Why We Bust, brought to you by the Windy City Ghostbusters and Memoriam Development. We're talking about members in the community and giving back. So suit up, shut your traps, dial in your PKE, and keep busting. Because it still feels good. And before you ask, no, I did not catch the number of that ghost train. Sorry, I missed it.
Thank you, Winston, for opening our show. Welcome back, everyone, to Why We Bust, the podcast where we explore the Ghostbusters fandom one proton pack journey at a time. I'm your host, Matt Goldenboat, and today we're heading down to the Lone Star State to meet someone who's making a significant impact in the Ghostbusters community. Joining us is Eric Parker, a dedicated member of the North Texas Ghostbusters. Eric and his team are known for their community involvement, from participating in local events to organizing charitable initiatives. Whether it's suiting up for fan expos or engaging in community cleanup projects, Eric embodies the spirit of giving back through fandom. Today, we'll delve into Eric's journey with the Ghostbusters franchise, his role in the North Texas Ghostbusters, and how he's using his passion to make a difference in his community. So, dial in those PKE meters, and let's get started. Eric, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this.
Fantastic. Now, I caught somewhere, Melissa, Texas. Is that in your whereabouts?
Yes, actually, I'm coming to you from Melissa, Texas right now. That's where we live. That's where we call home.
So I will tell you, I have the shirt upstairs. I should have brought it with me. I love your Buc-ee's.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, man, that Buc-ee's is about 1.5 miles from my house.
That's great. I was just out there in November, man. I wish I would have known.
Very
but
cool.
yeah, I bought the shirt. I bought some of the beaver nuggets, and fantastic little area. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the North Texas Ghostbusters and tell us a little bit about the franchise, how it got started, and some of the charity stuff that you guys are involved in.
Yeah, man. So the franchise itself is a little over 5 years old. It was started by Chris Uzzle and Chester Johnson, and then Rob came in, and then Zach Grannon. And those guys are our sort of original four for the North Texas Ghostbusters. And man, they rocked and rolled it as a foursome for a while. Leading up to the premiere of Frozen Empire is when the numbers started to grow. That's how I got involved. I had been looking for a group for years and kind of wanting to get involved, but looking for a group that was also open to family. So I've got 3 sons. We're all Ghostbusters, and we're all Ghostbusters fans. My oldest is almost 17. Getting him to suit up right now is a bit of a challenge sometimes, but he's still a good sport. But my middle son, my 14-year-old, is maybe more of a fanatic than I am. He is all about it. And so that's what led us to kind of go down that road. I found Chester, I think on Instagram, and sent him a message, and he messaged me back within minutes, invited me out to one of the events leading up to Frozen Empire's premiere at one of the local movie theaters. And man, we loaded the packs in the truck and rolled out, and it was meant to be. It was a match made in heaven. It was just perfect from the jump. It felt like we had been a part of it for forever. It was just a good fit personality wise, like-minded people. And so, yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I got a similar story with Windy City here. When I jumped in, Norm here was one of the first people I met, and it was just like everything clicked, and away you go, and the rest is history. And a lot of it's history in the making, right? So what charities do you guys mainly work with, and do you support?
So, man, we have supported everything from the North Texas Food Bank to Autism Speaks. God, I'm trying to go down the list. It's hard to remember them all. One of our newest charity partners is a group called Autism Adventures. And we did an autism acceptance event in Denton about a month ago with them, and it was fantastic. It was really, really cool. Really cool group. We are exploring more options for collaboration with them on some other events that we can do in the future. And obviously, we'll be supporting them financially too as we can. Fan Expo Dallas this year, this is a big Back to the Future year. Last year was Ghostbusters. This year, it's going to be one of the largest gatherings of Back to the Future cast members in a while. I mean, they're getting down in the weeds. They're getting a lot of little bit parts. Well, I'm trying to remember the names. Anyways, Goldie Wilson's going to be there.
Nice.
I mean, there's going to be a ton of people, as well as, the mainline cast members, Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thomas, Tom Wilson. All those guys are going to be there. So we decided for Fan Expo this year that our proceeds will go towards the Fox Foundation. And so that's who we'll be supporting at Fan Expo, just because it just kind of works and it kind of goes. So anyways, we've got a lot of other charity kind of endeavors. We're definitely putting out feelers all the time for different groups that we can be involved with. I know that I personally have gotten involved with Xander's, man, it's slipping my mind, the video game thing for playing Spirits Unleashed. And so
Extra
I'll
Life.
be in,
Extra Life,
Extra Life.
yeah.
I'll be involved with that in November. When the big day comes. And so signed up for that early on and been in contact with Xander about some of that stuff. So looking forward to that. So yeah, we support a wide range of local charities. And, we did the Puppy Food Bank event with Ernie Hudson down in San Antonio with the San Antonio Ghostbusters and the guys from Austin, the Yellow Rose guys. Texas Rangers division was there as well. I mean, a lot of the Ghostbusters franchises were all together in one place, man. It was khaki jumpsuits as far as the eye can see. It was awesome. It was really cool.
That's amazing. Yeah, if there's one thing I've noticed is Texas really rolls Ghostbusters strong down there, man. There are
It's awesome.
Several teams in Texas.
Right. Yeah. And, honestly, having been around them, there's not a bad team in Texas. There's really not. Everybody's just been so great.
That's amazing. So what's your favorite style of event to do so far that you've done?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. At the very beginning, the movie premiere stuff with Frozen Empire was a lot of fun. I think we saw opening weekend. I think I personally watched Frozen Empire like 7 times. It was awesome. And then my whole family was involved. Everybody was there. We went to, so it's a really cool place, not far from here, in the Colony, Texas, called Grandscape. It's this big master plan development. And there's a theater there called the Galaxy Theater. And the Galaxy is really special. And they invited us out all weekend long. We were there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it was awesome. We had people coming up. There were people at restaurants who didn't even know there was a new Ghostbusters movie, who were wandering over, asking questions. We were wandering through the plaza, all suited up, packs on, all that kind of stuff. We had so much fun. That was a really great event. So that was one of my favorites so far. I love the cons, but honestly, my favorite event was the 31 Days of Halloween in Denton, Texas. That we got to be the official ambassadors for Denton Halloween. So we got to set up an HQ down on the Denton Square inside the visitor center. It's called Discover Denton. They carved out a space right in the front window, and we all collaborated, brought all of our props and memorabilia and whatnot, and just decked it out like it was the full-on Ghostbusters headquarters. And it looked amazing. You can find pictures of it and stuff on our socials. It was so much fun. And so for 31 days, the entire month of October, there were multiple events going on. The weekends were packed. And then we actually just went about a month ago to a meeting talking about this year's 31 Days of Halloween and how they're expanding. They've more than doubled the budget. It's going to be bigger and better. And they were talking about our role and our involvement. But the coolest part was they told us that they sent out a survey to some of the attendees. And at the top of the list for the number one attraction, the number one thing that brought people to Denton for the 31 Days of Halloween was the North Texas Ghostbusters. And that was just confirmation that what we're doing is hitting with people. It's that people know who we are. I was in Ollie's the other day picking up Spengler wands for $50 and had a cashier recognize me. And she's like, "Hey, wait a minute. You're one of those Ghostbusters." I was in my work clothes, no Ghostbusters paraphernalia on at all. And she's like, "I know you. I've seen you somewhere." And that was a really cool moment for me. So anyways, lots of fun, man. So yeah, 31 Days of Halloween in Denton. I was there more often than not. Like I almost thought about getting an Airbnb in Denton because it's about an hour drive for me, so that I wouldn't have to go home every night. I could just get up the next morning, throw the jumpsuit on, and go out the door. So maybe we'll negotiate with the Denton Hotel this year to give us a block of rooms. We'll see.
That's all. Yeah, traveling for events can be tedious sometimes, especially if it's something that you're doing for multiple days. So, yeah, definitely get yourself somewhere to hole up in. Get that Ghostbuster family over, or order some pizza or some Chinese takeout, and just don't use the last of the petty cash.
No, never.
I remember seeing all the 31 days stuff that was posted on Facebook. I mean, that's like above and beyond, what you guys were doing out there. So I applaud you, and I applaud the North Texas Ghostbusters for doing that, because it takes a village to do something like that, right?
For sure. Yeah, it was all hands on deck for sure. It was a massive undertaking.
But the getting recognized, now that's something that I didn't think was going to happen when I first got into this. I'm Ghostbuster by night, hot tub salesman, and store manager by day, and it amazes me how many customers come in and are like, "I saw you. Were you at Scarecrow? Did you do the parade?" And it's like, "Yep, that's me." Is that the first time you've been recognized out in public?
Yeah, that was the first for me. That was, and it's actually kind of funny because she had seen me in Denton, and I think she'd also seen me at the Texas Honors Convention, and so it was really cool, and it was really neat to be recognized in the fact that I'm not dressed like a Ghostbuster at all, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I know you. I've seen you before." It was really cool. It was flattering for sure.
Trust me, it won't be the last time.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
It'll happen again, and it's when you least expect it. Somebody's gonna say, "Hey, you're that Ghostbuster."
Yeah.
And it's a badge that we wear proud.
Absolutely.
So what was it like that first time that you made the contact, you figured out where your first event was going to be? What was it like in your head to put the full suit on, throw the pack on? And did you look in the mirror, or did you just kind of stand there? What was that feeling that went through you?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I stood you had to borrow the wife's full length mirror, which I don't do often because sometimes that's kind of scary. And it was throwing the whole thing on, getting the whole thing together, the belt gizmo, the whole bit all pulled together for the first time with the, paratrooper boots, pant legs, blouse, the whole bit, right? Because I gotta get the details right. Oh my gosh, it was just like, man, I felt like a little kid again. I felt like I was 5-6 years old again, and it just like dreams come true. It was really cool. It took me a long time, so I'm in my mid 40s. It took me a while to give myself permission, if that makes any sense, to be a kid again.
Total, I get it. Yep.
And it was my kids that inspired it. So I'll be honest. When I first started building props and proton packs and all that kind of stuff, it was for my kids because I, watched all the classic movies and stuff with my boys. We're big movie nuts in our house, obviously. And Ghostbusters resonated with them the same way that it did with me. So it was dragging all the Kenner stuff out of storage from when I was a kid, and it was all very well loved and very well played with, not in collectible condition at all. So, rehashed it, jumping online to see people who made reproduction decals for stuff and starting to kind of refurbish some of that so that they would have it to play with the way that I did. And then Spirit came out with the 80% packs. And that was like when the floodgates opened. So we get the 80% packs. We wear them for Halloween. It's all good. I deck the boys out in flight suits, name badges, screen accurate patches, try to make it as cool as I can make it. My wife makes a killer Slimer costume for my youngest, who was just like 2 at the time. So he's toddling around the neighborhood, with his tongue hanging out, acting like Slimer. It was great. And that was kind of the thing that I was like, oh, this is really fun, but I'm just dad. I'm just plain clothes dad at Halloween. And then the next year, I'm like, hey, what are we doing for Halloween this year? And I'm like, oh, well, let's do Ghostbusters again. I'm like, okay, cool. And so I'm like, well, I want to do it too. So I found the inflatable Stay Puft costume. So I chased them around the neighborhood, as well as a bunch of the other neighbor kids. Our neighborhood does Halloween in a big way. And then we started putting Ghostbusters inflatables in the yard. And then we bought a standee like Ghostbuster sign. We put that in the yard. And then we decked my wife's white Highlander out like an Ecto for Halloween. Although she made me take it all back off, which made me very sad because she refuses to drive an Ecto to work. But anyway.
Oh, that's a shame.
But so we started becoming known as the Ghostbuster house. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of how I got started. So then I'm like, well, I'll throw a jumpsuit and a belt. And I need a proton pack. And then the full-size spirit packs came out. And so I rocked that for a while. But we were never happy with anything. It's like a lot of things with the way it was out of the box. And having watched Adam Savage and some other, YouTubers and that kind of stuff, we've been Adam Savage fans for ages. Matter of fact, we met Adam at Fan Expo last year. He signed my son Wyatt's. He signed my son Wyatt's motherboard on his packs. Really cool. It was watching those videos. It's like what gave us the courage to buy our first 3D printer. And then once we had a 3D printer, and then we start making connections with Egon and Co. for patches and Moby Signs for decals, and then Frankengeek for electronics. And,
you're like mirror image of everything that I'm doing too. Even down to the Adam Savage signing the motherboard, the full size.
Oh, that's awesome.
The full size pack that I'm building right now has Adam Savage's signature on the motherboard. So
that's cool.
Dude, you're going down the same rabbit hole that I am, buddy.
Yeah, man. And then you can kind of see behind me, we have just continued. So that's actually a full-size spirit packer. It was about the only thing that's left is the bare plastic shell. Everything else has been messed with, tinkered with, modified in some way or another. And then it's got a Hasbro 84 wand on it now, and that's got Ghost Lab 42, Spingler Link, and Pack Blaster in it for sound and lights and all that fun stuff. So
nice.
But it's been a part of, I don't know, at least half a dozen times since Frozen Empire now. It's like I keep adding to it, or keep changing this or changing that or adjusting this. It's never ending. It's become it's become my main hobby. It really has. So
yeah, my full size is at 1 year and 9 months of being built. So that's just the way these things go sometimes. But I was waiting for the Frankengeek kit for it because my 80% that's behind me over here, my other 80%, and this is no way a shameless plug, but if you're gonna go with stuff, Frankengeek, for me at least, has been very consistent, very
for sure,
very reliable as far as if you go to him with anything, if you need something, fast response. But it's just it's quality stuff. So shameless plug there for Frank.
It doesn't require as much, I'm going to say, engineering as some of the other kits do. So the stuff that I've had to fab mounts and that kind of stuff for the inside, figure out where it wants. Whereas the Frankengeek stuff is almost bolt in. For the spirit packs, which is really cool. So one of the 80% packs that we have that's fully built, it's got Frankengeek electronics in it, the wand kit, the whole bit. And that was my middle son's. It was his first big build pack that we kind of went all the way with. And it looks really good. Now that my youngest son uses that one, and then my middle son, he's got a full-size spirit pack. His is very different than mine. He wanted to do his on his own. And so his setup is completely different than my setup, but it's still really, really cool. And he likes to get out here in the shop and build stuff too. And it's been a lot of fun to do that together. So
that's awesome. Well, hey, I see in the chat here, we have a hydrate here. So if you got if you got a frosty beverage, whatever works, everyone, thank you for the hydrate. Stay hydrated out there, folks.
We've actually got two.
We do? All right. Well,
nice.
I'm going in for a second sip because you know what? It's been a long day and that caffeine is going to come in handy.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right. So take us back. Let's you mentioned Back to the Future, which happens to be another passion of mine. I've met all the cast you had mentioned before. I have my poster over there with all the signatures. I think it's awesome that you guys are supporting Michael J. Fox's foundation. But let's jump in that DeLorean and let's go way back. All right. I want to know, what was your first interaction that you remember with Ghostbusters?
So like I said, I'm in my mid 40s and Ghostbusters is the first live action, non-animated movie that I remember seeing in a movie theater in 1984. and I was 4 years old that summer, and we had to see it 3 times from the get-go. For the very first time we saw it, I was hooked. It became my favorite thing. And so, as you guys know, after '84, there was no merch. There's no. I remember we lived in a little tiny town in West Texas too, where it was, you drive an hour and a half to get to any kind of shopping at all. My grandmother, God rest her, was a brilliant seamstress, and I like to think that I was the favorite grandson. But she made my first Ghostbusters jumpsuit. She went to the movies. She found pictures in magazines and off the movie poster, and she made my first khaki jumpsuit. And here's the coolest part: couldn't buy a Ghostbuster patch then, not where we lived. Maybe somewhere, but she actually hand stitched a Moogly on the sleeve of my jumpsuit, and then same thing with the name tag and the whole thing. I still have it packed away somewhere. It's one of my prized possessions. But that Halloween, so Halloween '84, I was a Ghostbuster, and it was a lifelong sort of love affair from there. Every time it comes back out at the theaters for all of the anniversary releases, I got to go see it. I love all the movies. I love them all. But '84 will always be my top. I mean, it's just so good. Anyways, then of course later, Real Ghostbusters came out. I was the perfect age. I'm 7 years old. It becomes my favorite cartoon. That Christmas, I Firehouse, Ecto-1, all 4 Ghostbusters, Stay Puffed. Some of the other, Fearsome Flush, some of the other ghosts and the creepies and stuff that came out. Man, I got in trouble for getting ectoplasm on stuff so many times when I was a kid. That was one of the things my mom would ground me from, was ectoplasm. Like, no slime, no slime. If you get it on the couch again, I'm taking it away. So anyways, fortunately, as you guys probably know, that stuff flakes off real easy if you get it dry. But it was, it was an everyday thing with me when I was a kid.
Dude, those were the times though, right? Like it's hard,
for sure.
It's hard to explain to kids nowadays what it was really like because I was born in '81.
Okay.
So we're right in that same wheelhouse of, that Christmas where at Firehouse, Ecto, all that. I was right there with you. It's hard to explain to kids because I don't think they have the same quality of toys that we had growing up.
No, not at all.
I mean, like the stuff that I see my kids playing with, it's it's cheap. It's I don't know. I like to think we had the good stuff.
We did for sure. I mean, the Playmobil stuff, I made sure that my boys had all of that.
Me too.
And it was really good, but it still wasn't the same. So.
Yeah, and what was that? West of everything here, I feel like kids aren't super into toys these days.
No.
I'm you know what? My son's gonna be 8 next month, and it's a lot of VR, it's mobile games, it's stuff like that. And every now and then I'll catch him. He loves my Transformers, which is
nice.
A little hands on there, but I think that we will go down as the generation that really that had the cool stuff.
Oh, for sure. Toy wise, it doesn't get any better than '80s and '90s. It just doesn't.
No.
I mean, you can do it's endless. So Rob Saucedo, one of our guys, is a huge toy collector. And I mean, he's gotten us into, so that's one of the other events that we've done lately is there's a couple toy shows that happen basically every weekend around here. And Rob is always there representing. And then we've been able to kind of collaborate, and they've given us some space to come set up our setup and that kind of stuff and hang out. And so those have been a lot of fun too. But yeah, walking through those places is kind of nostalgic, man. Seeing all the stuff, from Ghostbusters to G.I. Joe to Masters of the Universe to Transformers. I mean, there's so many. We could talk for the rest of the show about '80s and '90s toys for sure.
Yeah, I've never collected toys in my life. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a huge toy collector myself, other than the things that I kept from my childhood. But no, I totally get it. It's a huge temptation.
No, I got us into one of the largest toy shows in the U.S. here in St. Charles, Illinois, and it's just
that's awesome.
Bringing some of our members around for that first show, and everybody's eyes are just like, holy cow, that they'd never seen something like this before. But whereas I've been going since I was 7 years old, so like I knew what to expect. But yeah, like I said, the 80s kids, we had the best stuff. So
for sure.
Let's go forward a couple of years. So you said you were into Real Ghostbusters. Did you and it's not a loaded question because we have our preferences here on Why We Bust. Did you enjoy Ghostbusters 2?
Yes, absolutely. I still love that movie.
Yeah.
I've actually probably seen Ghostbusters 2 as many times as I've seen Ghostbusters 1. The two are inseparable to me. I know there are people that have their issues, but there again, man, I was the right age. And that movie, I think, is more targeted at kids and families. I mean, the birthday party at the beginning is the perfect kind of opener to, hey, this is a little bit more family-friendly movie. Like, I didn't realize until I had kids of my own how I don't know how to put this, how salty Ghostbusters 1 is in some places. It just flew right over my head when I was a kid. But now as an adult, I'm like, oh, wait, that joke makes sense. That means something else than what I thought it did when I was younger,
So, yeah, this is to share with the world. It plays along that. I have a confession to make. I didn't realize until about 3 years ago the whole premise between, Keymaster, Gatekeep, and then when they're on the stone at the top of the building, like I didn't up until a couple of years ago, I didn't realize this happened, but I'm watching it with my son and I'm like, oh my God, how did I miss this?
Yeah, for sure. I can remember I had that realization one night. We were watching the Blu-ray with the boys, like we've done dozens of times. And my wife and I are sitting on the couch, and then we both kind of look at each other and just die laughing. It's hilarious. It's such a good joke. Yep, I mean, it's such a deep joke too, from the fact that Lewis is constantly locking himself out. He can't ever get a date. This, that, and the other. Now this guy becomes the key master. I mean, he gets. Anyways, it's hilarious. It's so layered. The writing is brilliant in Ghostbusters.
It really is. And that's why I truly believe, and it's been said on the interwebs that Ghostbusters #1 will go down as the greatest comedy.
Yes,
ever. And
absolutely,
I will agree with that because the timing, the actors that were involved in it, and just the overall aesthetic of that movie. Yes. I think it could be 2050 and you could still go back to that movie and it will hold up. And yes. You know what? You can't say that for a lot of movies that are coming out these days.
No, you can't. It is a time capsule of that period, that early 80s. I mean, everything. Really and truly, it's just so unique. And in my opinion, it's flawless. It has no, there are no low spots. There are no lulls. No. There's no, it just flows. It's just, I think it was that perfect combination from the writing, with Dan and just the whole thing. Ivan Reitman, it just works. It was that perfect chemistry, the perfect balance of wacky, far out, like wild imagination from Dan Aykroyd, and then Ivan Reitman to kind of reel him back in a little bit, and then it just works. I think I catch something, even though I've seen it countless times. I catch something every time we watch it that I'm like, oh yeah, like oh my gosh, that's so brilliant. Like it to me, it is maybe the greatest comedy of all time, but it also is the pinnacle of what came out of the OG Saturday Night Live cast and that Second City group. To me, it is the best thing to come from that group of people ever.
And I think I think Stripes was probably, and from what you read and everything, Stripes was really the catalyst for a lot of what you see in Ghostbusters, and the how Harold and Murray play off of each other.
Yes.
There's a lot of that I in my mind came off of Stripes and some other, and SNL in general. But you couldn't have got a better mix of guys to do that. And then you throw in Ernie Hudson,
right?
Who wasn't necessarily friends with all these guys,
Right.
but great actor on his own. If you've never seen him in The Substitute, go watch it, because it's a great role for him. But you throw him into the mix, and you get us. You get your everyday guy who just walks into this place and is like, all right,
totally. So Winston Zeddemore, to me, was the most relatable character, even when I was young, because he reminded me, my family, we're from very blue collar background, from, stonemasons, electricians, we're those kind of people. And him walking in needing a job, because my dad, so at that time in the 80s, a little backstory, my dad worked in the oil and gas industry. And as everybody knows, the mid 80s, everything crashed.
Yep.
And we were looking, so somebody walking in off the streets looking for a job, like, I'll believe anything you want. It's got a steady paycheck in it. That was totally relatable as a kid. And I was like, oh yeah. So for forever, Winston has always been kind of like, I love the other guys, totally do. But he was the everyman. He was the most relatable. He was us in the movie. Yep. And it's just so perfect.
Yep. And it's great to see where they've taken his character now into Frozen Empire. So, and I just want to go jump over to the comments here. So we have, they captured lightning in a bottle, which I hear that phrase all the time about Ghostbusters 1. That is absolutely true. It's the pure embodiment of what the 80s was about. Again, absolutely true. Just, down to the merchandising, to the actual movie with, the clothing, aesthetics, the light, the city of New York, captured in the 80s. It's really cool that we still have that piece to go back to. But here's my question, where I'm leading to with this. So Frozen Empire comes out. We're gonna skip over Afterlife, because I feel like Afterlife was really we could maybe jump back to it. But Frozen Empire, now you said you saw it 7 times. I myself was at the premiere, and I walked out of the theater kind of just, like, I was overwhelmed from what I had just seen, because there was a they often say a visual feast, right? There was so much to look at, and to, the Easter eggs and things that I'm looking for in the background. Did you feel like Frozen Empire was lacking in certain areas from that original Ghostbusters magic?
Yeah, I felt like we tried to shoehorn a little bit too much. I kind of expected that, given the size of the cast. Yeah. Given that, like, you got all these things to do. Like, we've already got a ton of people, and then we're going to add more, from Lars, and then, the whole thing. The first time I saw it, I was ecstatic when I walked out of the theater, because I just watched a Ghostbuster movie, and I'm surrounded by other Ghostbusters, and it was just awesome. It was such a good time. After watching, so the next day we go and we watch it again. We actually got passes to see it, like, I think right before the actual release. So we got to actually go to special screening on the Thursday before, like early in the day, and went and watched it. It was great. And I kept telling everybody, it's like, yeah, I love it. It's fantastic. And then we went and saw it again, and it was still good. It's still great. But then I started to kind of pick it certain things. And there were things I wish they had developed a little bit more. Places I wish they would have gone that they just didn't have time to go. I could see them sort of alluding to some things and leading up to that. I was looking for a lot more of a handoff from oh man, sorry, lost my train of thought. From Bill to Paul Rudd. I was expecting more of that interaction, thinking this has got some potential for some just comedy gold, just the two of them and their personalities sort of playing off one another, that we didn't really get. We got a little bit of it when they were dealing with the containment unit, but not a lot. So, do I love it? Yeah, it's a Ghostbusters movie. I don't care what Ghostbusters movie it is. I love it. I'm all for more Ghostbusters, but it just, it was visually beautiful. I just thought, I'm kind of fingers crossed, maybe we get a director's cut. I feel like if we add another 20 to 30 minutes, maybe there's some things that they could flesh out a little bit more. The scene on the roof with
where's all that footage?
Right. I want to wear my red parka. Come on.
We need 10 more minutes of red parka justification.
Yes,
that's all I
for
gotta
sure.
say. The red
Yeah,
parka
for sure.
frenzy. For all those in Texas that wanted red parkas, I commend
And
you.
who never get to wear them, except for that one day that it snowed. That I sent you guys that picture.
Yep.
That we put up on the promo. That was one day. Like immediately, as soon as there was white stuff on the ground, I'm like, go, take pictures.
Parka time.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's great. So let's go back to Afterlife. It's been a long time since we got a Ghostbusters movie. What were your expectations walking in? What were your what did you think walking out?
Loved it. There's really not anything that I dislike about Afterlife. I love the whole premise. I like the story. I love that it's kind of the handoff from Ivan to Jason, and
Yep.
I love that family connection. And then
And
I
what
love
perfect
the
timing too, right?
yes, totally. And then with the honor that they paid to Harold was just so beautiful to me. I know a lot of people have the issue with the stand-in and the digital sort of makeup, and I had no trouble with it at all. I thought it was super heartwarming. The only critique I would have for Afterlife, if there was one, is I wish we had a little bit more development on the Spengler family. Like who is Callie's mom? I want to know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Right.
Who did
who
Egon do the dirty with?
Yeah, exactly. Who loves Egon's epididymis? I want to know.
Exactly. No, and I hope that a couple weeks ago we had a little round table here, and we started talking somewhat about the Netflix series. I hope that's something that maybe they flush out or go back a little bit and give us a little bit of backstory, because I think that's a perfect place for some of this storytelling, for the stuff that we didn't get in the movies, to explain it, expand upon it, fill in the gaps for us.
Right.
Show us what happened, because with what I'm learning with a lot of fandoms is we have a thirst for the knowledge of our world that we kind of live in. Sometimes my brain lives in these movies. Like, it's just
me too.
And I think that hopefully we don't know the direction of the Netflix stuff. Hopefully that's where it goes. And even if it doesn't, I want to get into that a little bit here in a minute. But so you loved Afterlife, and I want to see if this holds true for you too, because when Afterlife came out, my son was young, but my daughter was right about that ripe age to see that Dad was really getting into this. And when she saw it, Phoebe happened to be the same age.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there was an instant connection there, and it automatically got, my kids kind of hooked into it. Did you have a similar experience with that with your kids?
Very much so. I keep talking about my middle son, Wyatt. My other boys love Ghostbusters too. Ethan and Emmett, they love Ghostbusters too. But Wyatt, he's my brainiac. He's the second born. He plays chess. He has a unique relationship with my dad. And so there's a lot of parallels between him and Phoebe. And so for that chess scene, when the chess piece moves by itself, he was locked in, like right then, was just like, okay. Sure. Yeah. And then when she discovers, the workshop, the underground workshop and all that, very much. But the cool thing is like my oldest, Ethan, he's the same age basically as Finn in the movie. Like, so that played with him. Hey, I found a car. Like, I don't even care what car it is. I'm joyriding this Ecto, but and like running through that. So that resonated with him too. We've actually gotten him to cosplay that character Trevor a couple different times. We found the YMCA shirt from Frozen Empire, and so he'll put that on and tie a jumpsuit. He has it tied around his waist. He never wants to put it all the way on, and he's kind of reluctant. And we joke all the time that someone must have spied on us when they were writing Frozen Empire, because Trevor in Frozen Empire is my son Ethan to a T. I mean, just that age and sort of like, it's hilarious. We laughed more at those scenes and those jokes, I think, than any of the rest of the movie because it was so relatable. But yeah, back to Afterlife. Yeah, it just, those parallels between Phoebe, and she's the smart kid, and she's the math whiz, and she's, all those things. That's Wyatt in so many ways. That's why it was really special at Fan Expo last year when things kind of quieted down on Sunday, and then McKenna Grace and her entourage came over to the booth and hung out for a while. And my boys were all just like jaws on the floor, like speechless for like, oh my gosh, is this actually happening? Our buddy Kyle that has the Ecto TX, he's actually got a Miller Meteor, and it's done up like the Afterlife car with the jump seat.
Oh, nice.
And the suicide door and all of that. And so she came, sat in the gunner seat, and we all crowded, us and the Texas Rangers guys all crowded around, and we got a big group shot. It was so perfect. It was such a cool sort of full circle experience for us. It was really neat.
And what a better ambassador than McKenna Grace.
Absolutely.
As kind of the for now the lead of the franchise. Actually down at the Firehouse for the Frozen Empire premiere, I kept saying to my friend Dan, I'm like, dude, we got to get down there early. He's like, why do you want to go down there so early? I'm like, dude, just trust me. So we got down there, and they had it. There's barely anybody there, but the Mercedes was there. They had the packs out, and nice. we're walking around, and this black SUV pulls up, and we look at each other. We're like, oh, who is that? And McKenna Grace got out. So she came over, and I had 3 or 4 candid minutes with McKenna Grace.
That's
and she
awesome.
Actually, and it was the second time she'd done it. She took a video with me for my daughter, just saying, hey, McKenna. So, I mean, just what an amazing human being. And
for sure.
I really hope that they take her character to new heights in what I'm hoping is going to be the next movie.
Yes.
Let's let her run free with that neutrona wand and
right.
and kick some ghost ass.
Well, the cool thing is she's little brag, she's a hometown girl. She's from Grapevine, Texas, which is like 45 minutes from here. Home of Post Malone too, by the way. And exactly. So, don't know what's in the water in Grapevine, but it's awesome. But she was so great when she came by the booth. And she's such a fan. She knows what stuff is. It's not like, she just like, she started pointing. She's like, oh my gosh, this is the ghost sniffer, and this is this, and this is, oh, you guys have a Geiger meter. This is amazing. Like, she was really interested and engaged. It wasn't like, oh, hi, or she's a Ghostbusters fan, and I think that's the coolest part.
She's kind of down in the trenches with us. Like,
absolutely.
She sees how passionate the fan base is, and she totally runs with it. And she had her dog with her, and I don't know if anybody's seen the pictures online. Her dog has its own jumpsuit.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's
how much more into it can you get? So what do you think what would you like to see out of the Netflix series?
Man, so I'm on the fence. I've kind of gone back and forth. I don't know if I want sort of a continuation, maybe modernized continuation of the real Ghostbusters, because I've seen some things and kind of heard some rumblings that maybe that's the way they're going to go, and I think that'd be great. That plays into the younger generation, so me and my boys are actively recruiting my 6-year-old nephew. We make sure that he has his jumpsuit and spirit pack and all of that stuff, and so I'm hoping. I mean, as much as I selfishly would love something that's a little bit more adult oriented, a little bit more nostalgic, and that way, I really and truly hope that it's something that's family friendly. I hope that it's something that we can continue to, I don't know how to put this, sort of proselytize to the younger generations and continue to build the fandom so that this continues to go on and grow. I plan on wearing my jumpsuit. I mean, they may have to bury me in it at this point. I don't ever plan on giving this up, and I want them to continue on and continue making this. And I think the only way we get that done is to continue to bring the younger folks in, bring the kids in, and focus on them, and Ghostbusters, I think forever, and there are certain fandoms where like they're kind of closed off and like, no, this is ours, and the new stuff stinks and I don't like it,
Right.
But man, if we can, the parallel that I draw is the prequel trilogies for Star Wars. There are a lot of old school Star Wars guys that don't like them, but for the guys who were ages like 5 to, I'm going to say 13 or 14, that is their Star Wars. And so I would say for my boys love Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2, but Afterlife and Frozen Empire, that's their Ghostbusters, and that's the thing that they really connect more with those characters than they do with these old guys, and so I think if we're going to continue this, if we're going to continue to build the fan base, it's got to be something that includes, or even, that is for the younger generation, something that connects with them and brings them into the Ghostbusters universe.
Okay. Hey, both of you guys, if we need to ever reference this again, Eric, I have already requested to a few people that if something happens to me, that I be buried in my blue flight suit.
Nice. Yep,
so, James, if it ever comes up, just it's
sure.
right here that I have requested.
Yeah, but I would say the same.
That's how passionate I feel about this, because this being able to use something from my youth combined with something that I'm doing now to not only enjoy for myself, but to give back to a community, to spend time with people that I truly enjoy being around and having camaraderie with. Like back in the 80s when we were playing with our Kenner stuff, did you ever think that, at our age, we'd be throwing on a flight suit and a Proton?
No.
And going to events and taking pictures? Like, who would have thought, right?
Right. Well, I mean, who would have thought that we would have the stuff that we have? And I'm not going to say that the straight stuff is the best stuff in the world. And the HasLab stuff is great. But for a lot of fans, man, it's unobtainium. It's just not. They can't lay out that kind of money. And I know for me, like I could probably, if it was just me, no problem. But it's not just me. It's me and my family. It's me and my boys. And so I can't buy everyone a HasLab. I got kids' college to pay for and a bunch of other things going on. But I can buy a Spirit Pack and we can get a 3D printer. And then it becomes more than just a movie that we watch or more than just a thing that we do occasionally on a weekend. It becomes a sort of integral part of who we are and what we do. And that to me, I could have never foreseen that. I could have never predicted that was actually going to be a thing, or that any of this stuff would actually be available. And so for me, this is the thing that we say all the time in the North Texas group is anyone can be a Ghostbuster. Not everybody can be Iron Man. Not everybody can be Captain America or Superman or, Master Chief, whatever your fandom. Not everybody can pull that off, but everyone can be a Ghostbuster. Doesn't matter where you're from, who you are, what your name is, what you look like, big, tall, short, what doesn't matter. Kid, old, our age range in our group, is from like 5-6 years old all the way up to 60 something years old. We've got, and it's just so cool that we can all come together around this thing. And everybody feels like they're a part of it. Everybody feels a full part. Nobody, we try to make sure that nobody feels less than, for any reason whatsoever. And it's so inclusive. And I think that's what makes Ghostbusters really, really special. Is it's open to everybody. And like I said, anyone can be a Ghostbuster. Anyone can be a North Texas Ghostbuster. If you live local, come find us.
You hit the nail on the head there. Is anyone can be a Ghostbuster. And I'll take it back about 4 years. I didn't realize how much pride I was going to have seeing not Spangler, not Stance, not Venkman, not Zeddemore on a flight suit, but seeing Golden Boat on a flight suit. Yeah. The first time I saw that and I put it on, it's that was that moment for me that was like, all right.
Yeah, for sure.
This is it. This is, again, a proud moment. And I'm sure for you too, that, it wasn't one of their names when you looked in the mirror. It was your name that was on that flight suit.
Yeah.
And then you see your kids I'm assuming with your last name on theirs
Oh
too.
yeah, absolutely. We've actually gotten stopped by people going like, I don't remember a Parker in the Ghostbusters. And I'm like, no, we're not a part of the New York Ghostbusters. We're part of the North Texas Ghostbusters. And we're a different franchise. And they're like, huh? I'm like, no, for real. And they're like, really? And then they ask that inevitable question, do you guys really hunt ghosts? And then we're like, yeah, we do professional like paranormal investigations. We're teamed up with a local group called the Para Hunters, and we've done investigations in cemeteries and pubs and libraries and comic book stores and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, and so we get to that end. Do the proton packs work? The neutrino ones really, no. The traps work? No, it's just a prop. But do we actually go out and try to connect with the paranormal and try to investigate those things and prove or disprove things all the time? It's just a part of who we are and what we do. And so yeah, that there's a lot of pride in putting your name on the jumpsuit, going out into public, representing our brand, not just North Texas Ghostbusters, but Ghostbusters at large, and having people like look at that and go, oh wow, this is really cool. And then when we get people go, how do I do this? And then we were like, yeah, well, you need a flight suit, and then come to a handful of events and let us get to know you and let you get to know us. And then if everybody's good with it, we'll patch you in. You'll get a North Texas Ghostbusters patch, and you become part of the family.
Stick around long enough, you'll never want to leave.
Right, exactly. And the wealth of talent, and I'm going to brag a minute on the North Texas Ghostbusters, the wealth of talent that we brought in from people who are good at social media, people who are good with our website and that kind of stuff, which is getting revamped at the moment. And then, people, it has been really cool to watch the whole thing sort of evolve and develop as we've grown. And as each person that comes into the group brings their own special talents and abilities and that kind of thing to the group, has just been really, really cool. And then for my other engineering homeboy, Ricky Garcia, I got to shout out to Ricky. Ricky's my fellow engineer extraordinaire and 3D printer, maker of all things, and master of merchandise. Getting together with him and I can get together and spitball ideas and brainstorm for hours. I think we've yet to have a phone call that was less than an hour. We both get in trouble with our wives of like, hey, are you going to talk to him all night? Like, well, I don't know, maybe we're coming up with all these awesome ideas, and it's just like that chemistry that we have with the other members of the group. And then it's just so much fun to watch, and it's so much fun to watch everybody work together and everybody play into each other's strengths. It's just been the best thing that I've been a part of for the last, man, what has it been, a year and 2 months now that I've been a part of the North Texas Ghostbusters. So cool. It feels like so much longer. It really does.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about when I said I found my people, right?
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize when I joined Windy City that I was going to find my people, that like it's like family now. Like there's some days where I don't know what I'd do without some of them. So
for sure.
I want to jump back into the comments here real quick.
We have a hydrate.
We have another hydrate.
We have a hydrate.
Be the last hydrate for the night here.
Unless
somebody really wants to see me chug coffee.
So we say, my sparkling water just ran out. So
perfect. So we've got Holtzman and Phoebe team up. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I'm a Ghostbusters, crossover universe here. Ghost Trap earned for me. That would be pretty spectacular, especially if it lights up.
Great idea.
It's a great idea. North Texas Ghostbusters for life. Absolutely. Great show, guys. Eric's enthusiasm is off the charts. Eric, I will say that you have been an amazing guest here, and I appreciate the enthusiasm. There's no better feeling than putting on that uniform. There is not. When you put on that uniform, you are representing something big, bigger than a microchip. Absolutely. I've never met a group of people so kind and loving and accepting as the Ghostbusters. Like there's some fan groups that just don't have that. I will completely agree with that. Even when I'm a Universal monster, I'm still blended in as North Texas Ghostbusters. That's pretty awesome.
Shout out to Brad Wolfman Bingham. He's one of our members.
That's really cool. So I want to say thank you for coming on tonight, man.
Oh man, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
you're gonna expect a friend request in your inbox from me there, because I feel like we're kind of running parallel. A lot of the things you
for
think,
sure.
a lot of things I think. I actually, I want to take a trip down to Texas now. I want to go back to Buc-ee's.
Come on.
Get some more beaver nuggets, and maybe one of these days come check out your workshop and maybe go hit an event with you guys, because it sounds like
great.
Go say hi to Xander too, who was up here with Windy City and is now down there with you guys. And I applaud everything that you guys are doing for the Ghostbusters community, and I applaud you for getting into this, wanting to give back, but also bringing that family feeling into everything, because it definitely shows, man. So, well, that is going to wrap it up tonight for Why We Bust. But Eric, I've got one question for you. Why do you bust?
Oh man, that's a tough question, man. Hey, just for the love of the people and the love of the fans, man. That's why I bust. Meeting those like-minded people, making people smile, and see people light up when they see us out in public. It means everything, man. It's the best therapy there is.
I concur, my friend. I concur. All right. Well, that wraps it up for another episode of Why We Bust. Come back here next Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, to see another episode with yours truly, Matt Goldenboat, James Norman, Eric Parker. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. We really appreciate it. And to all those out there viewing, have a great night and stay safe. There's Max.